Now we got to talk about Brock Purdy. This has not been the season he needed. He's going into a massive contract negotiation in 4 months? This is not what he needed. Now, we could say it's not his fault. Kyle's doing him no favor. This is true. We talked about it with Kurt Banker. Man, they can't pick up a blitz. He can't set the protections. He can't change the route. Still. I'm not in the business of making excuses. And if he wants to make $65 million a year or $45 million a year or $35 million a year, he's got to play better. Because no matter what he does, it's going to be hard for him to escape the shadow of Jimmy Garoppolo. Because we know the Jimmy G story. We know how it went. We know how it ended. He went to a Super Bowl. He lost. He put up good numbers. He got a lot of money. He wasn't good enough. He slowly declined. Kyle Shanahan held him back? Sure. Do Kyle plays suck? Yeah. But then Jimmy left and went to the Raiders and was a disaster. So I'm looking at Brock this year. He's doing some good things. Man, he can run. 8 yards a carry today. He's like Kyler Murray out there. He's so quick. I've never seen anyone really get a flush shot on him either when he's running. Like, he's elusive. He takes these grazing shots. He slides. He's quick. He makes guys miss. He's a hell of a runner. Really hard worker. Cerebral. He might be the smartest quarterback in the league if he were allowed to use his brain, but you're not allowed to do that. Only Kyle can use his brain because it's smarter. It's bigger. But just purely as a passer, just throwing the ball. He's got 13 touchdowns and 8 picks this year. So he's on pace for 22 touchdowns and 13 picks this year. Now, like, Patrick Mahomes could do that, and I'd be like, I don't care. He's going to win the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. I care what Brock Purdy's numbers are. He has a lot of, it's not like he's throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster. No. He's got Juwan Jennings and Christian McCaffrey, who's still a good receiver. Now, Deebo Samuel's washed. My God. But okay, I made a lot of excuses for Purdy today. He deserved them. Kyle did him no favors. But let's compare him and Gino. No one respects Gino Smith, although I think Niner fans do a little bit more today because of the dichotomy between him and Purdy. Each one had an opportunity to end the game with the ball in their hands. Brock first. Brock's winning. Close the game, Brock. 2nd and 11. Deebo over the middle, running a crossing route one-on-one. If the ball was chest high out in front, where you're supposed to throw the ball, where an accurate quarterback would throw, where Drew Brees would put it, where Jared Goff would put it, that's a first down. Where did Purdy put it? 5 yards over Deebo's head. You know who else would miss in that exact spot? James Richard Garoppolo the first. It's almost like before Purdy threw the pass, he said, Jimmy, and then missed it high by 5 feet. So it's like, do you love Brock Purdy's story? Yes. Do you love his demeanor and leadership and football IQ and mobility? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do you love him as a passer? No, I don't. Now, if Ben Johnson were the coach here, would he be putting up Jared Goff numbers? Maybe. Although Goff is more accurate than Purdy. Goff has a stronger arm. Let's talk about Purdy's arm. This is the issue. I mean, people always talk about his arm strength. Yeah, we know it's not that strong, but you can work around a lack of arm strength. What's alarming to me with Purdy is his accuracy. He's not that accurate. His ball placement is not elite. It's okay. And his misses sometimes are wild. Such is why I feel like as a passer, he's Purdy G. I'm sorry. Like, what context am I missing here? Jimmy Garoppolo put up these numbers with freaking Jeff Wilson Jr. I don't know. I'm not saying trade Purdy. I'm not saying Purdy sucks. I still think Purdy's good, but his numbers this season aren't. And if the Niners give him $45 million this season, they're bidding against themselves. No other team. There's no market for Purdy like that. You don't get to have one great season and then have a follow-up where you go, 9-8, 8-9, maybe worse, and have not even have a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and teams are going to say, boom, $60 million a year. No. You were the last pick in the draft. You had one great year. You couldn't follow it up. Was it Kyle's fault? Maybe. So fire Kyle, bring in another coach, and then evaluate Brock. You don't have to give him an extension because he's eligible for one. That's how you ended up giving $30 million a year to Ayuk. If the Niners could wave a magic wand and make that go away, would they? Yes. Ayuk is a guy who had one excellent season and got paid for it. Thank goodness the Niners were able to see this year from Brock before giving him something that's like 2 or 3, 2+, more than 2 times more expensive than Ayuk. I'm not trying to rub it in on Purdy, but I don't want to take sides on the Purdy Shanahan finger point-a-thon. I'm on neither one side. I'm against both of them. I'm on my side. Kyle's got to go. Brock doesn't have to go, but Brock doesn't deserve a pat in the back for making a few plays in a game where he scored 17 points and lost to Gino. Gino made more plays than Brock today. I want to publicly apologize to Gino Smith. I've been ridiculing this man mercilessly since he got to Seattle. He's a solid quarterback. And really, once Bosa went down, all of a sudden he was starting to play with some confidence, right? I always wondered why he played like the least confident quarterback I've ever seen against the Niners. He seems like probably legitimately, I don't want to use the word scared, but apprehensive about Bosa's presence on the field. Understandable. That guy could hit you really hard and hurt you. But once he was gone, Geno Smith wasn't scared of Nan.